Right, and put my phone on not disturb.
Yeah, no. You see, we did it right. Like we treat our guests with hospitality, right?
Yes. Alhamdulillah, very impressed.
But let's be cordial and take the phones off the table, please.
Oh yeah,
it's dinner time.
Yeah, I'll put my phone on silent, just to be courteous of our guests.
Alhamdulillah, what a day it's been. It's a special day because we're recording and it's actually sunny out. The sun's out. It's not midnight, so we have energy. Yeah. So it's something new for us.
Yeah, that is true. We usually recording this like 11, 12, 1.
Are you serious? How close do y'all live to each other?
We work like 20 feet from each other, so that works. But we live like 30 minutes away, so it's not a problem.
Exactly.
No, it's not bad.
Exactly.
Not bad at all. It used to be 3-hour commute.
Yeah, because I used to live in Norfolk, so it was like back and forth, meet in the middle.
So I'm like, yo, I'll meet you at lunch. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to leave in the morning.
Gotta something quick.
Yeah, exactly.
One take.
We got to whip this up real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, alhamdulillah, we've come a very long way, man.
Yeah. You see, we done upgraded. We got our first female guest.
Oh, mashallah.
Really?
Yeah, your first female guest.
We got a sister.
And we got the bomb guest. Yes, we made our duas and shot a couple of DMs, and here's what we got.
We took our shot.
Here's what we got. But yeah, we were, all right, let's
just do a thing, bro. Let's get it, man. 3, 2, 1. Oh, what's up, cameraman? Oh snap! It's okay. We gotta be perfect. Okay.
See, this is new level stuff.
It's okay, listeners. You guys have been patient with us. We just ask you to be patient with us for another 10 seconds.
Yeah, just keep it moving.
You know how we do. I mean, sometimes it used to just us just sitting here and just chilling.
Yeah, exactly. Now we actually cut that out. we caught all that extra stuff out.
We had some new listeners like, just get to the point.
All right. So I think let's give me the countdown, Mo.
Yes, bro.
Give me the countdown.
3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And you're listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Jummah Mubarak.
Oh, yes. It's a beautiful Friday outside.
Yeah, it is beautiful Friday, but this won't come out till Wednesday, so.
Oh, yeah.
But still.
Well.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Make sure you make all your salats. Make sure you make your salats. So, we have a very special guest.
Very
we have a Instagram satirist. We have a part-time comedian.
Full-time comedian, actually.
Full-time comedian. The funny button is always on. Nadirah.
Assalamu alaikum. Some introduction there. Thank you.
Very, very humble, as you can see.
Hey, that's what he said today. He said, put our head to the ground. We humble.
Exactly. Humility.
Get humble. Hold up.
So was there anything that Jabril might have missed on the introduction that you kind of want to add on?
I'm also a full-time student. Pray for that. Donate to that. Provide for that.
She has a GoFundMe page. The link will be in her bio.
Cash app link in my bio.
Oh, you're good. So are you a full-time student of the Dean, or do you actually go to school somewhere? Because we know a lot of people that are just, full-time knowledge seekers, and that's what they say they do full-time, which, we do too. But we want to be a little bit more specific.
I have an accredited university that I owe money to. So I'm in full-time.
She owes them some shmoney.
I'm a student.
That school money.
Student.
Shmoolah.
Do not drop that name because Sally Mae will be listening.
She will be on you like
Sally
hot
Mae
cakes.
Is shirk. I don't.
Yo, so what school are you going to?
I go to Montclair State University.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And where's that?
That is in Montclair, New Jersey. New Jersey.
Okay, you want to give a shout out to your hometown? Where you from?
I'm from Newark, New Jersey. Brick City baby, Southport baby.
Hey,
represent. You didn't throw out the area code, did you? Throw out the area code one time.
07114.
She threw out the zip.
I say area, she threw out the zip. They go hard.
Area.
They go hard.
That's where I be at.
He's in the trap.
All right, so what brings you to DC this weekend?
This weekend, I will be speaking on a panel at Howard University's Hijab Fest. This weekend.
Tell us more about that festival. And how did they find you?
How did they find me? I was actually at an event at Howard University. I don't even remember the name of the play I went to go see. Oh, the Not Without My Hijab.
It was a play?
It was a play. It's a play. And they were going on a tour, and they went to Howard, so we drove down It was actually like a whole bus full of sisters.
Wow, mashallah.
And we came, and I believe she's the president of MSA at Howard.
Okay.
I believe she is. So she basically like ran up on me and was like, "Yo, we're having Hijab Fest. You got to be there."
Oh.
So I was like, "Yo, take my card."
Hey.
Email me.
Hey. You still got cards?
Yes.
Hey, okay, professional.
Email me. Like, I hate people calling me. But yeah, so I gave her my card, and they reached out, and we got all the logistics right. So I'll be there, inshallah.
Nice, inshallah.
Yes.
Well, now that we know that how they found you, what is the Hijab Fest for the people in the DMV area? Because we do have listeners that are in the area, but by the time listened to this, the Hijab Fest might be over.
Well, yeah, well, it's going to be over, but like maybe they can catch it next year. Or something like that.
Maybe they can catch it next year. So the Hijab Fest is basically a celebration. Their Hijab Fest, I want to say nationwide, but I do know about them more so on the East Coast because we have one in Jersey, and I think New York might have one.
Okay.
But it's basically a day of celebration for Muslim women. There might be all types of beauty demonstrations. There are different panel talks, different times for us to just for us to be free as hijabi women and to talk about the realness of it, whether it's the beauty or the ugly or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the women that do not wear hijab, can they still attend?
Of course. Perfect. Hijab is more than just a head covering or just a covering on your body, but more so an attitude and certain characteristics that you hold.
Okay, do you want to tell us a little more about that?
Yo,
okay.
she sat out there and thought about that answer before she came. That was the PR.
As soon as I asked the question, she was grinning like, yeah.
I was waiting.
I prepared.
I knew that was coming.
During these sort of festivals, because I've seen you've done things like these before. What is one of the more significant things that you see, while you're there? Like, what is the cooler things that happen at these festivals?
I think the coolest part for me is like meeting people.
Okay. Meeting
just people from all over. Like I've met sisters from Kansas, sisters from Colorado, sisters from California, who, I always say it's amazing what you can get people to do when they love you and they want to just be next to you, that you would book a ticket from California to the East Coast just to come to a one-day event.
That's true.
Wow.
So I think that's the coolest part, is seeing the love and the dedication and just overall wanting to be there, the desire to be there.
So for the people attending, specifically the Muslim women, because that's what I think, it's all Muslim women there, what do you want them to get out of that event, specifically from you? Like, what is the goal?
Specifically for me, I think it's just the truth. However broad and general that may sound, I would like them to face the truth of the matter, whether, the truth is hijab is a beautiful thing or a difficult thing or a hard thing or a somewhat dangerous thing or, whatever the case may be. I think to just get the truth out of it and to definitely know where to go from there is what I would like them to get from me.
I mean, I really do like that because I have sisters, mom, and they all do wear hijab or the khimar because, like, as you mentioned, it's a whole mood, right?
Yeah.
My younger sister, I remember she told me one day, it was a lot younger. She was like, yeah, I don't want to wear the hijab yet because it'll cover my beauty, So you just bring up a good point. Like, you want to show them, like, hey, you're beautiful with it too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it's their choice, right? It's their decision once they get comfortable. Because if they do it for somebody else, just like prayer, then you're not doing it for the right reason, which is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I love that mission. I think it is true because they're being true to themselves at the end of the day. And that's all we want. We want to be true to ourselves as men, as women, as people. So I do really like that goal.
Do you have like a hijab story? Because I see that trending a lot on like Instagram or like YouTube where they say, oh, this is my hijab story, or something like that. Or you just like, I've been wearing this from the get.
Yeah, I don't really have like a real dramatic, beautiful story. I started wearing it because, when you're younger and all the older people are doing something, so you want to do it too.
Yeah.
So I started fairly early. I think I was like 5 or 6.
Except pay bills.
Except pay bills.
I won't do that.
Right? I wanted the money, but I didn't want to pay no bills.
Right.
So when I was like 5 or 6, I was like, okay, my grandma wears it, my mama wears it, my aunts wear it.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to wear it too.
Yeah.
So it was as simple as that for my particular story.
Yeah.
It was nothing grandiose or dramatic or
And you went to like Islamic schools up in Jersey, yeah?
I did, from daycare till 10th grade.
Nice.
I went to Islamic private schools, yes.
So it probably made it a lot easier for you, wearing the khimar, wearing the hijab, and being around others who were either doing the same thing or either choosing not to do it, but they come from backgrounds where, their parents, or like you said, grandparents, family members are, all on the same mindset. Because where I come from, there was no women wearing hijab, like in a younger setting, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, because I talked to my sister and she doesn't wear it, and it's not an issue, but I understand why, because no one around her is doing it outside of our parents and like family.
Yeah, it definitely made it a lot easier, because when you live in like a largely Black Muslim community, and then you go to a Black Muslim school, and then all the places you frequent, there's Black Muslims. It's like, okay, this is normal. Like for me, it was normal. Like it was natural. And when I would see people like, some of my family is Christian, who wouldn't have it on, like it wasn't a big deal, because at the end of the day, when I would go back home, people have it on. Or when I would go to school, people have it on. So that did make it a lot easier, and definitely was a large influence in the experience that I had as far as starting the hijab and my hijab process and everything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we know that just whether it's online or just in general, there's a lot of discussions about the hijab, about the khimar, about how it should be worn. There shouldn't be any hair sticking out if it's 1 or 2 strands, you know what I mean?
Start snapping.
The ears should be covered, the neck should be covered. I mean, as guys, we can say all that we want, but we really do not know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's a lot of questions that you get. I mean, like, hey, how should I wear my hijab? How did you get comfortable? Like, is that a lot of things that people kind of reach out to you, especially like younger girls? Is that like a topic that they hit you up about? Or do they talk about other topics that's probably more important to them? Just like finding their own voice, whether it's just navigating through life as a Muslim woman, especially as a Black Muslim woman, it's not easy. So I don't know if that was a topic that comes up a lot, just a little bit for you.
Hijab is like kind of, sort of. And that's because mainly I know these girls reach out mainly to people who have said that they have struggled with it. So I think they gravitate more so towards those women rather than
and you're not on that plane.
Yeah, who was just kind of like, I just did it and just never looked back. It was nothing that I really like had to think twice about it. Like I said, because of the environment that I was in. No, so I get more so, what should I do in this situation, or I'm feeling like this, or I'm feeling like that. What should I do? But no, hijab is not really on the list. Not really too high on the list at all.
Well, and that's not really what a lot of your content's about either. I think for anybody that's on your social media, first off, they're definitely laughing on a regular basis.
Hope so.
I mean, my mom actually found you. I want to say last year or like early 2017. When did you start like really putting out content?
I started. Okay, so the first video that really popped was I released it in March of 2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a little bit.
So you've been on 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
No, 2017.
Okay.
2017. I'm thinking of something else.
Okay.
And it was just one of those things. Like I just put it up. I had put up a couple videos before that, but it was really just to make my friends laugh. Like I was like, my friends and like some of their friends follow me. So I was like, let me just put something up to make them laugh. And at the time, my page was private, but this was also at the boom of the reposting apps were coming out, where you could save the video to your phone and repost it. So it was one of those things where I literally just went to bed and woke up, and it was like all of these
going crazy.
Yes, it was like all of these shares and comments and like 100 and something follow requests, and I'm like, oh, okay, that was cool. Let's see what else we can do.
Let's do it again.
Exactly. Let's give it another try.
Did you get any negative feedback from those videos?
Of course. People who that first video was a skit about it was me saying if sisters talk to brothers the same way they talk to us. So of course there was a couple brothers who definitely fit that description, didn't like it,
and they were the ones that were hitting you up saying, sister, do not put my business out there.
Exactly. They were like, this is why are you making this video,
messing up my gang.
Exactly. Of course, there's always negative feedback.
Yeah.
Always somebody.
What's funny about you being an Instagram satirist? Yeah, see, that word is just new. That was a first.
She gonna stamp that,
right? She's like, I'm a satirist. What was interesting about that, right, is that we find a lot of times in religion that people tend to be very serious
Yes.
when it comes to the religion. And so you bring like this necessary humor to the religion, which we all talk about. We all know about it. But people just feel like, oh, if I say something that's like, I'm going to get in trouble about it. So how, like, obviously you just were like, I don't care. And well, I'm not going to say obvious, but like, what was your thoughts going into it when you were just like this is every day for us?
Literally, I don't care.
Oh,
were my very thoughts.
Okay.
It was something where it was like, I don't care. Like that was kind of the whole scheme of things. And coming from my mother and my grandmother, who are more so very laid back, very conservative, very calm, mellow, quiet women, for me to just kind of burst out here and just, well, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say this. They were so nervous. And even myself, I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, I watched some of my videos, like, wow, I really said that. I'm like, yeah, I said it. Like, that was me. So yeah, going into it was like, I don't care. It was like, I'm here to make you laugh. I'm here to make you think about it. I'm here for it to, make you feel queasy if you're one of these idiots out here that's doing crazy stuff in the community.
Yep.
But it was like, I don't care. I'm gonna say it because we all know it's true. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So here.
And you draw a lot of that stuff from like where you currently are, like in Jersey, or is it like sometimes you see stuff when you're at like conferences or like just meeting different people and you're just like, yo,
it's all,
I got a skit for you.
Even literally, that's how I think. Like I see a situation, I'm like, I can't wait to make fun of you.
It's going down.
But I think even from Jersey to PA to the DMV to even sometimes to the Midwest, we have a lot of the same experiences.
Yes.
It's a lot of stuff that we all kind of went through. Absolutely. And that's universal. So I may think that I'm only drawing my experience from Jersey, but then somebody somewhere else would be like, oh man, we do the same stuff, or we've gotten to the same things, or we've done this, or we've done that. So I think I draw my inspiration from everywhere. Most of the times from Jersey, since that's where I'm at, but definitely when I go to conferences or when I'm traveling for performances, it's a lot of content there. A whole lot of content there.
Nice.
I was reading an article that somebody wrote about you, and they said that you were just willing to say stuff that other people weren't, right? And then you just mentioned something earlier. So the individuals that are interested in what you have to say, is it mainly Muslims in America, or is it Muslims like internationally? Because you mentioned it was universal. So is it a Muslim American problem, or is it a Muslim problem? About the issues that you talk about.
If it makes sense, it's kind of like we will have the same problem. Like, let's say here in the U.S. we have a problem and they have the same problem in London, but in America it'll look a little different than it does in London. Like, even though there's racism here and there's racism in London, it looks a bit different in London than it does in the U.S. So it's like they can relate, but they're like, yeah, that's the same thing I'm feeling. Like, I feel like they're discriminating, but they don't say this to me, they say that. They don't look at me like this, they look at me like that.
Can't follow it.
Listen, I'm giving you a run for your money, honey. I'm start asking you to hold stuff.
Hit it with
push
the
this card for me.
Nah, but like I was saying, my mom found you. I would say it was almost 2 years ago that my mom found you, somewhere around that time, and she's been watching you ever since, dying. And then she shows my sisters, and it was cool because you have somebody that's funny, relatable, and younger sisters can look at it and they be like, oh, like she looks like me, or like, I get that. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lack of that. Like, I can't say that I've ever met a woman hijab wearing comedian.
Yeah.
So what has been the response for like your supporters? Like, how have they kind of received you and like embraced you and been like, yo, like, you saved my funny life, like like
funny life. Save my funny boy.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, it's been nothing but like, it's all love. It's all love. Like, I have people who message me and be like, I was having such a bad day and then I went down your page. And I'm like, I can see from your comments that you've been on my page for a while. You might want to handle some of these problems, but alhamdulillah, it's been all love. The responses, I always tell people, this is nothing that I expected, because it wasn't planned. It wasn't something that I worked at. It was literally something where God was like, "Are you finna do this? Like, this is what it is." So the response is crazy. Like, it completely blows my mind every day to see the followers, the likes, the comments, the everything. It completely blows my mind. But it's all love. It's all love for the most part.
So tell me more about your research game. One thing that I've known about studying comedians is that they're very brilliant. You know what I mean? They take a lot of time, not only researching their content, but just the history about it, just a lot of the context. So one thing I noticed about you is that you're also pretty intelligent. You know about the deen. You know, so do you, because was it just growing up in Islamic school that you knew about, or do you do a lot of, self-education now, or how do you kind of?
Growing up in Islamic school was the education that they wanted you to have.
How
it was
so?
Islam, as we like to call it. Islam. It was what he wanted you to know. But I think definitely going into, because I graduated high school when I was 16. So it was like my last 2 years were in public school. So, after a while, curious minds wants to know. So that's when I really started to look into things and really started to learn and really started to put in the work of unlearning certain things that I had been taught in Islamic school. And, even within my community, there were some wild people.
I think every community has those wild people.
And they're so loud. They're so loud. Like, those are the people where you hear their messages the most, the wildest people. And it's like, can somebody shut them up? Yeah. But I think going into college was definitely the years that kind of sparked my interest and got the ball rolling.
Okay.
Of course, there's no limit to learning, especially within Islam. There's always something you don't know, and we barely getting to the surface of things. So I think just constantly, ever since I was 16, just constantly learning more, taking in more, getting it from wherever I can.
And then trying to just put it out there for other people. So how do you use your platform to kind of not flex with your knowledge, but put certain things out there for people to either know or to understand and kind of use to help them out?
Of course, we know to speak to everybody in their language. So as you can see from my videos, I'm not going to use a bunch of complex words. I'm not going to write you a long paragraph. This is going to be 60 seconds of you to take it in, because we have short attention spans already. And the comedy comes in when I could come and I could tell you something. Let's say I want to tell you something about yourself that you heavily believe. And when you heavily believe something, it's hard to convince somebody that's not true.
Oh, yeah.
That you heavily believe, but I'm here to present the facts that it's wrong. I can come and I can say, you're absolutely wrong. You're an idiot. That's dumb. And then I can present the facts to you. And you're not likely to take it in. But if I come to you in a very light, humorous way, and I say, girl, now look what you said and look at the facts of the matter. You're more likely to be receptive to the information. You're more likely to take it in. You're more likely to actually think about it. So anything that I do have, and I'm very careful of what I put out there, because I know that I'm responsible for what I say, and I don't want to say something because, I feel or I think, especially when it comes to Islamic knowledge. Exactly, when it comes to Islamic knowledge. So once something is like confirmed, then I'll put up a video about it. And sometimes I can do it in a humorous way, like I said, so you can be more receptive, so I could really like touch you. But sometimes it has to be a little bit more serious. I'm not, well, in some videos I am yelling, but I'm not like screaming at you, or degrading you or anything like that.
It's just like you're trying to just put it in the head.
Like I'm trying to literally penetrate your mind. Like I'm trying to get you to understand this.
No, because when you make somebody laugh, automatically the barriers come down, the walls come down. And then soon the walls come down, then you can, like you said, you can penetrate with the knowledge, And that's something that I do wish as an Ummah community we do better, especially as parents. One thing that my mom tells me, Islam is it's a light religion, it's relaxed. When you come and tell the children, like, you sit down, our Prophet ﷺ used to talk a lot when he used to just sit down and enjoy a meal, because when you enjoy a meal, you really relax, right? Everything's really uptight. Like, what is it Kevin Hart says? You ain't gang banging with eggs and breakfast, right? Gang banging on bacon, right? Kevin Hart said, ain't nobody gang banging on bacon.
Exactly.
But anyway, I really do like that you do that, and I wish it was implemented a lot more. So what you're doing is very important, because who doesn't love to laugh, And our religion, people are making it too serious, I mean, I understand that there's certain things that we're not supposed to do, which is borders, but everything, you can make it light. You can have fun with it. I mean, we're supposed to enjoy our lives, in our Islamic terms. A lot of people, we talked about this earlier, people's like, I'm not too worried about this world. I'm worried about the hereafter, And then I tell you about the dua I make, like, Allah, like, I want to have a great life and a great afterlife, like,
exactly.
Make that possible.
I want the best of both
he's the only
worlds.
one that can do that.
Exactly.
But a lot of people try to make the narrative like, no, is very serious. You got to do everything. There's A, B, C, D. You know what I mean? So I think your platform is very, very, needed. So coming in, was that your goal? Was like, hey, I want to kind of, spread the deen and make dawah through comedy? Or was it more just like, hey, people just need to hear this and I'm just funny. Let me just use my comedy to let it out?
I don't know, because I hadn't really thought about it. Because like I said, like it just happened.
Yeah.
So it was like there was no game plan, there was no goal. It was like, I'm just gonna put out this video and people are gonna laugh. Now after a while, I was like, okay, where am I gonna take this? Like, where am I going?
Yeah.
Once it got to like a few thousand, I was like, okay, maybe I should be serious.
50,000.
Because people are listening.
It took that long?
People are paying attention. People are listening. So once I thought about it, I was like, I'm just going to tell the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to be truthful.
Yep.
And whoever is meant to hear is going to hear it. Whoever is going to receive it is going to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
But God, I can never get in front of Allah and he tells me that I didn't say it. Because I said it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether you received it or not, what you did with that information is going to be between you and your Lord. But I said it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's where it's at.
Exactly. Which, we were talking earlier when, we were eating fried chicken. I know but part of, our culture just as black people. Specifically, black Muslims, like you see that laughter is such a big part of who we are.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want to like make jokes out of that, but it really is like it's a part of our culture and how we get through the tough times and the good times too as well, right? So it's funny. No pun intended. It's funny, hey, I could be a comedian, saying late night show.
I can't.
So I mean, it's funny how like your platform is what I would say is like a form of worship, helping other people smile and you're giving dawah at the same time, and that's what the Friday clip was about today, right? Like how do we worship? So I thought it was really funny, again, how we you're using comedy, you're using people's joy and laughter to actually incorporate serious topics.
Yeah.
But it's not even that it's just serious topics, they're real topics, like real life. And I think a lot of times, whether it's different podcasts we've listened to before, or if it's different people on Instagram that are just always so serious, or they try and be light about it, the topics aren't always relatable, right? And it's not real life.
Yeah.
And I think that's why most people can probably relate to what you do and what you have. So that was just something that I noticed, like just going throughout the day, like you're real relatable, and anybody can hop on that quick, regardless of their ethnicity. But I just feel like for Black Muslims, we've experienced so much here, and we've experienced so many different types of people that when we put something out, it's like, oh, I've experienced that. Is that when people do come up to you? Because I mean, we had somebody come and photobomb me before we start recording. So is when people are coming up to you, what are some of the things that they're saying to you now they can't see you face to face?
It's a lot of I love yous,
That's
which
awesome.
actually make me uncomfortable.
You're like, I don't even know you.
It's like, okay, cool. It's a lot of I love yous. It's a lot of I love what you're talking about. I love what you're doing. But I like a lot is people who are telling me how I make them feel.
Okay.
Which is nice. Like, I would like to make you feel good. I want to make you feel, a certain way. Even the people that don't like me, heavy quotes. And just to be clear, everyone that doesn't like me loves me to death. It's absolutely infatuated.
Whoa, explain this.
Yes, go into
loves me to death. Everyone that quote unquote doesn't like me watches all the videos, makes sure to comment. They don't like me enough to unfollow me. Because they love me to death.
Yo.
They love me to death.
That's real.
Have you met those people in real life?
Yeah, because it's hard not to. I'll be honest. Alhamdulillah. Humbly, I say it's hard not to love me.
Oh.
It's hard. I get it.
Yeah.
You're a little perplexed because a video kind of pierced your heart.
Yeah.
Because that was you. However, that's between you and your Lord. So I think people telling me how they make me feel, especially for young Black Muslim girls. Is the most meaningful, because I remember being a young Black Muslim girl and I just kind of felt like I didn't fit anywhere in the spectrum. And especially with the rise of the hijabi fashion models.
It was like we're excluded.
Yeah, with alhamdulillah to them, they're doing their thing, but there's not too many of us blacks out there.
No.
There's not too many of us blacks out there.
When you say black, do you just mean specifically African American, or do you just mean brown skinned black girls?
I do mean African American.
Okay.
Because however you want to put it, our experience is unique.
Absolutely.
Our experience is unique.
Absolutely.
And especially our experience as it translates within our style of clothing. Like when I see certain hijab fashion models, I'm like, that's how you would wear it, but I would never. So you can't represent me. Like that doesn't inspire me.
I like that.
No offense.
It's real.
But yeah, I think for young black Muslim girls, and one thing I was very clear about when I began to think about what I wanted to do with my social media is that I am, and this is for black Muslims. Yes. Primarily. Now, there's certain videos that are for black Muslim men and for black Muslim women, or it might just be for blacks, or it might just be for women, or whatever the case may be. But my sole purpose is for my people first and foremost.
Absolutely.
First and foremost.
So what do you say to the people that are like, well, why aren't you inclusive of all of us?
You have your people. You have your people. For any and every other demographic, they have their people. They have and they have so many of them.
Yeah.
So many of them. At this point, you're just being selfish.
Yeah.
At this point, you're just...
We want it all.
Exactly. You're just being selfish. You have so many people. You have so many representatives that are saying so many things. I'm for my people. I stand for my people. I'm doing this for my people. When it's time, to cut somebody a piece of the pie, first and foremost is going to my people.
Yeah.
So...
Makes sense.
So what are some other ways that you stand up for your people outside of the videos? Do you do humanitarian work? Are you out there in the community? Are you connecting with the people in the masjid? Tell us, what you do. I already know, like, this right here, all that content you put out is a full-time job in itself. I definitely know it's not easy. It takes a lot of time.
Job.
It takes a lot of time.
Like I said, I do have a special soft spot for young black Muslims. Yeah. So as much as I can, as much as I'm invited, I do try my best to go and speak to them as often as I can. Sometimes schools or organizations will reach out to me, and I do try to do that as best I can. I will admit that it makes me, children, adolescents make me very nervous. Wow. Very.
What ages are we talking about?
Oh, yeah. Are you talking like the mean, like when we were all like mean?
Yes.
Yeah, the mean.
Yes, but not necessarily because they're mean, but rather because they're vulnerable and they're fragile.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing or do the... Like, you remember when you were a child and you have that memory of that one auntie that was, like, too aggressive or too abrasive, and it kind of, like...
got that mark.
Yeah, like, it kind of scarred you a little bit. Very true, physically and mentally and emotionally.
No, I actually didn't, thankfully. Thank Allah. I didn't have an aunt to beat me.
Or even if it was like a blood aunt, it was like somebody in the community who was just a little too, that kind of put a bad taste in your mouth. So I think when it comes to talking to children or to giving them advice, like more so than any stadium full of people, like I'm so nervous because I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, and I want to go on here and I want to be truthful, but I still want you to have dreams and take over the world and everything else.
When you get outside these walls, the world is cruel.
Exactly. It's a hard world we live in. Take everything.
They don't care about y'all.
So, what is the most amount of people that you've spoken to, just like face to face, like in regards to
like a conference or like speaking engagement, anything like that?
I think it might have been like 500 to 700 women.
So
was it a comedy show?
Was it all women?
It was a comedy show.
It was
yeah.
All right.
It was all women.
So let's get to that. But how did you start doing comedy? Because the videos are funny, but you're a comedian funny now. There's a difference.
It was literally like this group in Atlanta reached out to me and was like, we're going to have a fundraiser. And I went for an embarrassingly low amount of money. I ask a lot of counter this charity. I mean, I need that to double, triple, like tenfold. But they called me and were like, we want you to come do comedy. And prior to this, I didn't do any open mic, no type of stand-up experience whatsoever.
It's recent?
This was maybe a year ago.
Okay.
A year, a little bit over a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So they called me and was like, yeah, come do a comedy show. And I was like, for real? And they were like, yeah. So they flew me out and I practiced for a 10-minute set.
Okay.
A 10-minute set, and it went really well.
Ooh.
Like it went like surprisingly well, and I was like, "This is what we doing now?" Like,
you like comedy or college?
Word, like I'm like, is this the wave I'm riding right now? And then after that, other people started to reach out to me, you know, because the sister was like, "Oh, thank you to Nadirah for coming out." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Yeah, the show went so well," and people were like, "Okay, well, come do this." So it was like, cool. I might have, but I don't call myself a comedian.
You're satirist.
No, only because it's so much pressure. Like,
Really?
It's so much pressure.
Well, it's kind of like what he was saying. Like, comedians are very smart, and no, you are very smart. Don't try and like take my words anywhere. You've been doing that a lot today, right? Reverse. Hey, don't put me out there to my podcast listeners, right? But no, like, you know. What is the main difference between, I guess, having your skits that you do on Instagram, or it seems like some of those you might even freestyle? Like, what's your process for those, and then what's the main difference from what you do on Instagram to actually live in person shows, like comedy shows?
A lot of Instagram videos are freestyles, but they aren't one take. Like, it's like I have an idea, then I'm stuttering, talking too low. Instagram's video won't record the audio, so I literally have to make the whole thing over. But it's literally it's like, remember when you would write in school, you would write a paragraph, and like, okay, you read that story, you wrote a paragraph. Now we need you to write a whole essay on it. So it's basically, I have to take these 60-minute skits, which is very rare that I use my skit material like in an actual show. But to have little ideas and to just expound on it. So to take a joke from 60 seconds to, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes, like, to make it a whole story, to get into details, to have the proper pausing and everything like that.
You like wait for them to laugh. You say something.
Oh, that quiet time, honey. Whew.
Oh, have you bombed?
Oh,
let's talk about a time that you've bombed. Take a moment.
Okay. It was a few times, and when I tell you those times were humbling. Humbling because before, for that first show, I wrote jokes. Or before, I used to write an idea, and I would have the joke in my mind. So, and then I would practice seeing the idea and remembering the joke. Then I got to, you feel me? I got to bravado, and I thought I was the man around town. So I tried to freestyle it. Ooh.
Hey, yo,
haram.
Haram.
Oh man!
I transgressed myself.
Explain that.
So I was like, I would have like a 10-minute show. I'm like, man, I'm about to get up here, make people laugh. Right? Practice nothing. Get on stage. It was, let me tell you about a specific time. It was during Ramadan. This group brought me out to New York, and they're like, yeah, we just need you to do 10 minutes. That's all he wanted was 10 minutes.
Everybody was already cranky at that time.
Exactly,
So.
10 minutes.
They're all hungry.
That might have been it. I'm telling myself that to make myself feel better. So they're like, all we need is 10 minutes. So I'm like, all right, 10 minutes. What you talking about?
Easy.
I get on that stage. I gave them 120 seconds worth of material, which was literally like 2 jokes. And I was like, all right, y'all.
And what city were you in?
So what y'all do?
Oh, my God. This was Brooklyn.
Is it? Oh, I had my head because I'm like, what up, Brooklyn?
Oh, my God. And what was even crazier about that is, first of all, I was so embarrassed that I left. I was so embarrassed. I was like, yeah, I gotta go get something from my car. I dipped. I left. I was so embarrassed.
Yo, dude, come get your check.
And what's crazy is I was gonna be like, okay, I was gonna let them know, I'm like, don't send me the check. It was like honestly, it might have been longer than 2 minutes because I remember looking at my watch. It was like 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
That's wild.
But then they emailed me and they were like, yo, we loved it.
What?
And I was like, what?
You want me to come back? I said, this is how we robbery.
Is this a joke? I want to message them back and like, say wallahi.
Say wallahi.
Have you seen that meme going around?
Yes.
He's like, I will find you and I will kill you. Say wallahi.
Say wallahi.
And I was like, are you serious? Yeah. But yeah, I bombed so bad.
So what did you learn from that experience? I'm sure you got.
You need prayer. You need
I'm sure you
prepare.
got definitely tougher skin from that preparation.
No, more anxiety.
More
anxiety. More anxiety. But definitely preparation. Proper preparation. Okay. I leave in a allotted amount of time. You know, I know who my audience is, how many people, the time that I'm allotted, and I leave an appropriate amount of time to develop content, to try out jokes.
What is that? What do you mean develop content?
You just put in the work?
mean, I have times that I literally sit and write jokes.
You in the lab?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're got you.
Period.
You in there cooking.
I'm in there cooking. But giving myself enough time for that, because sometimes I'll have a joke and in my mind it sounds hilarious, but on paper I'm like, oh, I wouldn't even laugh at that. Like, that's horrible.
Dang.
So who do you try your jokes on? Like, Ma, come here.
Again?
Honestly, to be honest with you, because I am a sociable person or a social person, a lot of my jokes are tried out in social settings.
She been trying it out on us all day.
I'm not gonna lie to you. One or two of them, I'm like, okay,
that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was in my back.
Hold on. Be honest. We're not the funniest guys, but we're kind of funny. And have you taken anything that, like, any jokes? You got any jokes that, like, we said and you want to take it? Yeah, we're gonna have to charge you for that.
I'm disgusted. No, I did not steal any of your content. You would love the credit. You're sick.
I'm a sick man.
No, I have not stolen any of your jokes.
Look, you definitely got to put us in one of your comedy shows because that'll be funny.
No, why she gonna embarrass us? What you talking about?
I'll take it.
Any good publicity is good publicity,
right? Especially when she's on the mic, it's like, yo, like your fan base, you know how they have like the beehive? Mm-hmm. You got the hijab hive. Like
like 6 people have already told me, what are you gonna call your fans?
Whoa.
I was like,
can we come up with that right now?
Okay, what?
Come on, like, let's think. Let's put our brains together and come up with. All right, let's, like, 3 words that describe you best. 3 words.
Funny. Sarcastic.
Sarcastic.
Energetic.
All right, Mo. All right, we're going to take that. I'm passing it. Funny, sarcastic, energetic. Passing to you, bro.
How you going to do that? So, a name for your fans.
My name is Nadirah.
Nadirah.
Mm-hmm.
They call me Nadirah P.
Nadirah P.
Yeah.
Shoot. We all love Nadirah P. I don't know.
We'll come back to that in a short moment break.
Exactly. Like, it's hard to bounce off of that.
Nah, I mean, you know, what was funny about some of the skits that you put out. The very first one I saw was I want my salams, right? I've been in the grocery store. You see somebody. You see them see you.
Eye contact.
Go over to them. Assalamu alaikum. They look away. How often do you experience that? And how many people? I know a lot of people hit you up about that one.
Yes.
And what is your reaction?
I still experience that, but it's funny when I experience that, and then they realize who I am.
Ooh.
And I'm like, don't talk to me now, baby girl. Your time came and it went.
Dang.
It's so annoying and it's so, like, unnecessary.
Yes.
Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, why do you think they do it? Because we can all say we've had those times, right?
Absolutely.
Why?
I
be real.
I honestly think it's a racial thing. Because I will have to.
That was an ego thing, but
it might be. I would be 100% honest. This is my personal experience.
That's all you
I have never experienced that from a black Muslim.
No.
Yeah.
And when I say black Muslim, I mean African American, Caribbean,
they're gonna respond.
Anything.
Yeah. So you at that point you just mean like skin tone black.
Skin tone.
If they see you and you know, up here I've only been up here about 4 months now.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of Muslims that work in grocery stores. So like me, I'm like, what? Assalamu alaikum. I'm over here spitting rhymes now, right?
And they're like, chill.
Yeah, but like people that I'll be with,
know.
they're from here. They're like, yo, like what you're tripping? I'm like, dog, what do you mean I'm tripping? Like I'm getting these blessings.
Word.
First of all, I'm pulling them off the rack. Right. Secondly,
racks on.
That's what we're supposed to do. Like we're Muslims. This ain't no like, hi, how are you? Like this is a special greeting. Like so this sister ringing me up at Walmart. Like I'm gonna say assalamu alaikum. You know what I'm saying?
This is gang.
So it's like,
stop playing.
Yeah, like yo, we part of a special team. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta recognize one another.
Talking the same language out here.
I guess it's a little bit more difficult for us because we're men and it is racial. I'm black, so they look at me and they're like,
"You ain't never wrong with some."
You watching a lot of WHRO, aren't you?
Yes.
Like, good job. Your saying's a little bit off. Your pronunciation.
But
is a little
funny
bit off.
enough, the men will.
Yeah.
Really?
So much so to the point where I've had men approach me first.
Yeah.
Oh,
and the men will speak, and their wives will say nothing.
Yep.
Jeez.
It's weird.
It's
the women are very the women that I've experienced up here are very like they keep to themselves almost to a weird degree. Like if I say assalamu alaikum to you, I said assalamu alaikum to this one lady, she kind of just like walaikum salam. Like she didn't even want to like look at me. She didn't want to like it wasn't like joyous. Like when you get a greeting, it's supposed to be like a happy rejoicing, but it's weird, man. Then again,
it might be a cultural thing.
I think it is a cultural thing.
It might be a cultural thing because even with us, like I could see you the last day Ramadan. Eid morning, I'm gonna give you the salams like I haven't seen you in months.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yo, assalamu alaikum. Come here, give me a hug, baby. Like Eid Mubarak.
Yeah.
So I think it might be a cultural thing where they just might be a bit colder. You know, a little bit.
That is true. Because like we said, like it is in our culture to laugh and like how we use comedy and things like that. Like that is cultural and how we embrace. Like, you know, we've talked about like the hugging and like handshakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That sort of thing is, you know, there's debates on it, but I know that in instances it is cultural, right? Yeah. And so it's a very welcoming sort of environment when you're around African American Muslims, Black Muslims, as they like to call us. But it is funny when people try to, I guess, relate to you, and then they like start talking about like nation and stuff. I've experienced it. I don't know if you experienced. Have you experienced that? Where
of course.
Yeah. How do you do you have a skit about that?
I don't have a skit about that.
See, we feed her more material.
But yeah, it's funny because they'll be like, "Oh, are you from the nation?" And I'll be like, "No." But then they won't really know much about the nation, other than them
Malcolm
X. They're Malcolm X or
Elijah.
I've never met some that know Elijah Muhammad. Like they
or
won't
Marv
even
D. Muhammad. They don't
exactly.
know. All they know is Farrakhan.
Farrakhan or Malcolm X, or they don't know anything about their belief systems or anything like that.
Nope.
So it's like, okay, you just asked me that because I'm black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, exactly.
Yeah. Or more than anything, I'll get, "Oh, when did you convert?"
Dang. That's
What's funny is I actually found out that a friend that I just made, we actually both made a friend at the same time. One of the most knowledgeable dudes I know, convert. Matter of fact, my man right here. Convert, right? My man Son, shout out to my man Son on the cameras.
Shout out.
My man came up big. So soon come. Soon come, I know.
I do want to go
Wait,
back
are you talking about somebody you had on the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
yeah,
I was shocked.
You were shocked?
I was shocked. Because I was like, wait, you what?
Yeah. Because you saw his Instagram, right?
Yeah, I was like, what?
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? Only 13 years
By the way, if you guys don't know who we're talking about, make sure you guys go back and listen to 2 episodes ago to that podcast, and you will find out who it is that we're talking about. This is the Young Ones podcast. I am Jabril Salam. Plug over. Keep going.
No, but I was telling you guys earlier. I mean, it is a culture thing because in Egypt, if people was to give salams to everybody, they legitimately would just die out of breath. You know what I'm talking about? Walking by, salam, 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 salam. You know. And another thing is that guys don't really even like look at women. Women don't really look at guys. Like when women are walking past guys, automatically just their head is down. You know. So that is a culture. They're just heads down and not even looking. So if you give them the greetings, they're like, oh. They'll just be shocked that you even spoke to them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So here, when people coming over here, and you're like, assalamu alaikum, especially the women, like, oh, like,
what do I do?
What do I do? Somebody's actually talking to me.
Wow,
in other countries, women are not being spoken to. So it's a shock for them, too. Not only for you guys, but for them, too. You know? So you can't forget that, too, because, like, wow, yeah. Like, and my husband's right here. I can't talk to you. You know what I mean? Like,
they're looking at you, looking at him like,
what you about to do? What's going on here? This is a test.
Either you gonna run or I'm gonna run.
No, you bring up a very good point, man. And what's interesting about America as a whole is that you have so many different people, so many diaspora. Whether it's you're West African, North African, South African, East African. Middle Eastern or Eastern or Western Asian or Eastern, whatever, wherever you're from, it's like you bring over all of your culture, all of your norms from where you're from, and you come here. But here is everybody's so different, So it's like it's hard to quote unquote adapt, right? Because you grew up around a lot of Egyptian people, and then he met me. He was like, "Hold up, you're a Muslim, so it's just different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just completely different. So, I can understand that. Man, damn, bro, perspective.
Perspective.
You hit me with some perspective, bro. I appreciate that.
No problem. So I do want to talk more about your support and the people that help you out. Do you get a lot of support from your family, from the people out in Newark? Do they rally behind every time you do some, or are they just crickets? And is it just the people that on social media that you don't know that's showing you all the love? I mean, tell us more about that.
I would say it's both. There are people from my community who support me more so than others.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
A good bulk of my supporters are people that I don't know. Or people that I don't know. People in my community more so. It's like, oh, hey, I remember you.
Wow.
And then I'll hear stories to be like, this sister said she knows you. I'm like, she knows of me.
Yeah.
She doesn't know me. Try to use me for clout, sis.
Yeah.
She was trying to get the Instagram story in real quick.
Exactly. Sis, move. I'm trying to pray.
Doing prayer though. Okay.
My family is very supportive.
That's
very
awesome.
supportive.
Alhamdulillah.
Once they kind of, it wasn't something that I kept hidden, but it wasn't something that I was like, hey, look at this. Because I thought it was just, it was just social media stuff.
Play.
Yeah, I wasn't calling my mom every time I made a Facebook status. So it was I didn't think nothing of it. But I think once other people started coming and saying, I saw Nadirah. They're like, oh, you're for real. And I'm like, I guess I am. Yes, I am, mother.
Here's my business card.
Exactly. I literally gave my mother a business card.
You can call me too.
You can email me when you have something to say.
If you don't get in the car.
Exactly.
Let's ride to this airport.
Yeah. So my family is supportive.
That's dope, because not a lot of people get that support. Alhamdulillah, we've gotten tremendous support for what we do from my family and his family. His mom set me down. She was like, make sure y'all do good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make sure it's kind of like you were saying with the videos where, as a creator, a content creator, now you have this responsibility of what you put out and how people, not so much how they perceive it, but what is your intent behind it? And if the bulk of the people are perceiving it badly, then you have to go back to the drawing board and you got to okay, why is it going like that? So how, we talked a little bit about the process, but in that process, what is going through your head when you're making a video and you're like, okay, I know that I can relate to this, but I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to be wrong contextually. How do you kind of tiptoe and come up with fire?
As we know, Islam is a religion of intention as much as it is about action, but is a religion of intention, and you will be judged based on your intent. So there are some times where I do have to check my intention. I want to make a video and I'm like, I'm just about to blast everybody. Everybody's about to get violated. Yeah. And I'm just like, not only are my intentions tainted, but my outcome will be tainted. So it's nothing good is going to come from this, and any content that I make, even though I am openly, and I say it with my chest when I'm coming for somebody, excuse me, I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad unless they're doing something bad. So it's I'm not out here just trying to disrespect you and degrade you for no reason. Rather, I'm trying to draw attention to your toxic actions. I'm trying to show you where you're going wrong, because it's of no benefit to me to make fun of you. I could, come out in the community and basically stick my middle finger up at the whole community. Yeah. And what will that bring us?
It won't do no good.
Nothing at all.
Just uproar, probably.
But then I can come to the community and I say, okay, here's where you're wrong. Here's where how you made us feel. Here's where, you're doing bad things with the community. You're toxic. You're tainted. And this is not necessarily a thing of you need to leave. In some cases it is. You need to go. Yeah. But in some cases is you need a minute. Yeah. You need a minute. You need a moment to regather yourself. So I think definitely checking my intentions and then checking my authenticity. Because with being a social media personnel and with, quote unquote, being the voice for certain people, there are certain things that they want me to say but it don't sit right with me.
Yes.
You know, like I'm not gonna go on a rant about divorcees from a perspective that I don't have. You know, I'm not gonna make a video who you really just want to send to your baby father. You know, like exactly.
Here she is right here.
She said it. You know, so I think checking my intention and checking my authenticity, or even sometimes, you know, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I will put out a video, and you know, a black man or a black woman, mostly within my community or otherwise, will pull me inside and be like, you just said this and it was kind of off. Or, you know, you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have said this.
But where's that line where you still have to say the truth and you know that it might stir a little feelings, you know what I'm saying? Where's that line at?
After I check my intentions and I know that I don't have ill will towards anyone, and I'm not just being reckless and impulsive, and I check that my authenticity is something that I really care about, I'm really passionate about, I really want to say, after that, I'm gonna let it rock.
I'm
gonna let it rock. Because it's something that has to be said. It's going to stir up some emotion.
Yeah,
it's supposed to. That's literally the purpose that I'm putting the video out.
And that's what the truth does.
Yes, I'm waiting for some negative comments. I want you to be offended. Because when you are offended, that says something about you, honey.
Yes, reactions.
That says something about where you're coming from. And it also shows me, because of how you perceived it, it says something about you as well. Because there's some things that I say, and some people are just so... they're already in left field that they'll never perceive it right. Yeah. Because, you know, I'll go in the comments and I'll try to defend myself and I'll present the same fact in 15 different ways. So when you still don't get it, it's you.
You can't sell the unsellable.
Anymore? Like, I know.
Anymore?
Yeah.
That's a lot of energy.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was going through this little phase where I was like, I heard Mercury was in retrograde, you know, so I was very aggressive. I just felt like I was just so aggressive. So I was like, I just got smoke for everybody. But then I realized after that, and I only think it was like 5 or 6 arguments that I really entertained. And I was like, I'm so exhausted. Yeah. And it got us nowhere. Yeah. And I really don't even care anymore.
Because you wasted energy.
Yeah.
And now they got all the energy. There was you say you watch Atlanta. There was the one episode with Paperboy. He was replying to the dude on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
You know that one? And he was like, yo, don't waste all your energy and time. Like you're hurting yourself. Like this dude just gonna keep feeding off of that.
And so many people just want attention.
Absolutely.
It's kind of sick.
Damn.
So many people just want attention.
Do you think you've made it once you start getting like legit haters? Not the people that kind of like comment on one video, but you got the people that are commenting on like several videos, consistent haters. Is that like making it? Because we're trying to gauge. I think we have one bad comment of all the content we put out, so I think we're not.
Give it time. Like I said, everyone who doesn't like me loves me to death.
Yeah,
loves me to death. They don't hate me enough to unfollow me because they love me.
So are those?
Look at the camera and say.
Everyone who doesn't like me loves me to death.
So
they don't hate me enough to unfollow me.
Are those men or women that you get the pushback from in those nasty comments? Both.
Okay.
Ooh.
Both. It honestly depends on the topic. Okay. Sometimes, some men come at me a little harder. It's like, I had a soft spot.
You know what? There was a topic that we went on. We were talking about hijab at the beginning. Boom. I knew we were going to come back to this. There was a very specific video that you put out where a particular sister who has a shmillion followers or more decided to take off her hijab or her kimar, as we know it's called. She took it off, and there was a lot of backlash from multiple, hijabi models and people that in the industry, social media influencers, things like that. And you put out a video, and we put out a podcast, and we kind of had our opinions on it and so on and so forth. But we have you here, and we kind of want to like talk to you about that in person because there's not a lot of times where there's dialogue between guys and girls, and we can ask the real legit questions. So can you go in detail about that whole situation and why you kind of stand where you stand with it?
The whole situation for me is because, number one, Islamophobia is real. And as much as we would like to deny it, it has, and is very capable of turning into something physical. So in a situation where you are in danger we know you're allowed to do something to protect yourself, even if that is removing your hijab.
Yeah.
Now, this particular sister, it was just like, what? Like, it was just because she lives in Brooklyn. And it's like,
who's going to attack her in
that's
Brooklyn?
so, thank you. Like, it's so diverse there. Like, what was the purpose? And it went deeper for me because when she took off her hijab and put on a beanie, she was white passing. She was white passing. You couldn't tell she was an Arab woman. You couldn't tell she was a Muslim woman. She looked like a white woman. Mm-hmm. And for me, as a black woman, as a black Muslim woman who wears hijab, you put me in a very uncomfortable spot. Because if somebody comes in to do, harm to me, or they come in and say, I want to harm Muslim women, and they're like, oh, good, it's only one, because I'm the only one that's visible, you put me in harm's way for the purpose of saving yourself. Oof. And it comes to a thing where it's like, we literally have to walk in this together.
There's no solidarity.
You're not, and wow. I said in the video, you're not holding your weight. That's a fact of the matter. This is a cop-out. In certain instances, I understand, take it off when your life is seriously being threatened. Yeah. Baby girl, you live in Brooklyn. You live in Brooklyn. In New York. Yeah. That's like the diverse of diversity.
You know what's interesting? There was a study, and don't quote me on this. You can quote me, but don't quote me. Okay. That there's more Islamophobia in this area, like the DMV, Northern Virginia area, than anywhere else in the country. But I think this is one of the most concentrated Muslim areas in the country. Mm-hmm. So it isn't always a fact of there's a lot of Muslims here, it's very diverse, and people are accepting of it. Sometimes those people that aren't accepting of it are just intermingled, and then those instances do happen, which we just, we talked about what happened with Nadirah. That happened in probably the most metropolitan area in the Northern Virginia area. Yeah. So, and this is just kind of like the play, because I want to get more out of, your answer. I understand what you're saying, but I also understand where she's coming from, where she's like, I want to feel safer, especially with, the president that we have going in, all the instances that we're seeing, people getting attacked and so on and so forth. I want to stay in solidarity, but I also want to be safe myself.
But if you wanted to be safe, would that be something you post for millions of people to see?
That's what I was just going to say right now.
If I wanted to do it. Exactly. If I wanted to pass as a non-Muslim woman, why do I need to post? Why would I post about it?
Why would you?
That's putting yourself in danger.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that,
you're telling people what you're doing.
You're telling people what you're doing. And you're an artist who's made music about proudly wearing hijab.
Her number one song is Rock My Hijab.
And when people see you, even when non-Muslims see you, more likely than not, they know who you are.
Where's that energy?
Ooh.
Like I said, I get it. When it's time to be safe, it's time to be safe. But in the midst of being safe, who has time to post on Instagram?
Guys,
hey, look at me
safe.
being safe.
Yeah. Dang, that's just the truth. There's really nothing to say, but that's real. That's facts.
Again.
Sheesh.
So it's like, again, hold your weight.
Yeah. Well, it's like Mo just said, you got to have that same energy when you were out there, putting out the songs, and or even for, we've seen other people who take off, the Qimar, the hijab, and we don't wear it. So it's like, we're the type of guys where it's like, we respect what decision you decide to make, right? Like if you decide to keep it on, take it off, cool. But you gotta still have that same energy throughout. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't take it off and then, Mo was telling me how he was coming from Saudi Arabia, right? And how like he saw a woman get on the plane, they have the full niqab on. Then when they got to America, it was like, and like he was like, they got spaghetti straps, the whole thing. Again, do what you want, cool. But it's like you're going from here to here, and it's where's that same energy that you're having? You know what I'm saying? When you're on social media saying this and gaining out of that, but then you act a totally different way. It's deep.
That was deep.
It's deep.
That was deep.
Yeah. I don't try these things.
So you said something earlier that was very interesting in regards to holding your weight. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, right? That's a lot of pressure for just the average human being. So do you think I don't know if you call yourself an influencer or just, somebody just doing your thing, but, as somebody that has like an audience or just a way to sway people, do you think that you have to stand up for everything? Do you think people are waiting for you to speak out? Like, how do you know what cards to play and when to play, like when's appropriate? Do you think you need to talk about every matter that happens when it comes to, African Americans or just Muslim women or Black Muslim women, when do you know to kind of go in and when not to?
Even if I wanted to talk about every single thing, I don't have time. There's not enough time in the world. There's definitely not enough time in my life. And truth be told, I don't have enough energy. Yeah. I don't have enough energy. At the end of the day, I'm a social media personnel, but I'm still a real person trying to live a real life. I talk about as much as I possibly can. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's funny because I was posting on my story a couple weeks back about someone messaging me saying, "Oh, you haven't said anything about the New Zealand attacks, da 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 da." And at the time the New Zealand attacks happened, I was on vacation in a European country. Yeah. So it was like kind of like paranoia kind of kicked in, and at the same time everyone was like posting the video and posting the pictures, and for me personally,
that's a lot.
I'm very easily triggered. Yeah. And for a lot of us, without having to be there, it's very traumatic. Yeah. It's very traumatic. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like this is something that's literally sitting on my heart at the time that I'm trying to vacation in an area where this could very well happen to me and the group of people that I'm with. Wow. So it's like I don't want to keep dwelling on it. So for a good portion of my social media, because it is mine, I use my own discretion. Mm-hmm. And I pay attention to how I'm feeling. And I pay attention to, my authenticity and my intentions and what's going to come out of this and everything like that. Mm-hmm. I would love to speak on everything and post every GoFundMe and donate to this and donate to that. But sometimes I just don't have the heart for it. Especially when it comes to mass killings and sexual assault and domestic violence. It's like, and I would hate for, of course, I would like my page to be somewhere where I could spread information, but for someone to come on here expecting to laugh and then you're triggered by something. Yeah. I know I'm so easily triggered. I don't want that to happen to somebody. Gotcha. That's why you see, even when I posted about New Zealand or Mali or whatever, I posted, I just said make dua for them. Yes. But I'm not going to post pictures of the victims and their families and the video. Like, that's very traumatic. Yeah. That's very traumatic. Even when it comes to, the African American experience. Mm-hmm. We've been steadily being so desensitized to so many things that there's so much that I don't watch. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I don't watch fight videos, any video where somebody's getting shot or, they had on the news a dead body just laying, for the whole world to see. No censors, no anything. You can see the blood. You can see exactly. It's ridiculous. So yes, I'm not gonna post sensitive images.
Yeah, it's difficult because as a platform, you kind of teeter that line where, for instance, we talked about what happened in Mozambique, the flooding and the cyclone, and then we talked about what happened in Mali, and a lot of our listeners didn't know anything about it, like zero about it. Yeah, we did Instagram Live. His son, he hopped on Instagram Live. He didn't know anything about it, like, and this was a day or two after it happened. Yeah. So we're still figuring it out ourselves. Like, where's that? How? Because you don't want everything to be grim, especially because like you see, we like to be light and funny and have a good time. But there is that time where it's like, like our attention kind of has to shift, and not saying like you guys, but like saying our platform. This is a time where we have to kind of like shift because Allah's going to ask us what we used our platform and our time and everything for, and are we using it for our own motivations, or are we using it to possibly help others that can be helped, no matter what way it is that we're helping. So I like your approach to it. You're like, I use my discretion and I try and help in other ways.
I mean, it's all about intention, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
Sister Nadirah. And I was talking to Brother Tariq, or he posted it, Brother Tariq Torre, and he said the last safe space I have is my mind. You know what I mean? He said once
Yes.
that's tainted, I'm done. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I was telling Jabril, like straight up. So when stuff like that happen, I try to at least take a deep breath and try to, you know, because if that hits me all at one time, all the time,
Yes,
I would, I'll be brain dead. You
It's
know
a
what I mean?
lot.
Like, I would not be here. So that's very important that you say that, because you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, mental health is a really big thing. So,
Mhm.
and I think at the same time, I see somebody else had a good perspective in regards to like the victims of what happened in New Zealand. Like, hey, instead of posting the killer or the person that did all that, let's post about the victims who sacrificed their lives. You know,
Yeah.
50 lives. Let's relive their stories, tell their legacies, because we have platforms like this, and this will live on
Yeah,
beyond
exactly.
us. So I thought that was also very important. So, but you know, if you're telling everybody to make dua, then it's gonna live on with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah,
So that's the most
exactly.
important. So I do
Mhm.
like that approach as well.
And it humanizes you.
Mhm.
Because,
Yeah.
like you said, you're not a robot. Like, yo, you go on vacation, you go to school, you have friends.
Yeah.
We need you working.
Yeah,
We need you working.
exactly.
24/7.
Yeah, so you don't want to be stuck in a position where, you know, like you're down and out, and now everybody that follows you for one thing, they're down and out. So yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
get that, and that's cool to hear, because we've never heard that from
Yeah.
somebody such as yourself that is, you know, quote unquote influencer, right?
Mhm.
So no, that's big respect, because you have choice,
Yeah.
you know, and you use your choice very wisely.
Mhm.
So that's respect. Especially
Alhamdulillah.
you're 22, yeah,
Mhm.
you're young. You're very young. She looked at us, Mo. We told her we were 26. She said, sheesh.
Call us pioneers.
She said, y'all look good for your age.
I did.
Black don't crack.
With you being so young and being in this game, you know, you been in the game, in the industry,
Yeah, son.
you know,
You feel
yeah,
me?
son, you know,
Yeah, B.
Newark in the house, right? You've been doing this for, you know, 2 years. How have you seen yourself develop? How have you seen your material develop? And how have you developed as a Muslim, as a person overall, you know, from where you are, or from where you were to where you are now?
I would say it's just the most important development that I've made is, in all areas of my life, is discipline. I think I'm steadily becoming more and more disciplined. And that helps with a lot of things, because even in Islam, we know you have to be disciplined.
Very
To
disciplined.
pray 5 times a day, you have to have discipline.
Yep.
To not eat or drink anything
Yep.
for 14 to 16, sometimes more hours, is discipline. To get ready for shows, to produce content, to do anything requires discipline. So I would say that's how I've seen myself develop. And definitely social media helps me to be more cautious of the things that I say as well as the things that I do. Because whether you believe it or not, especially in venues where people know who I am and people are, you know, looking at me, somebody's watching you.
Dang.
Somebody sees you.
Somebody's always watching.
Exactly.
Always.
And the fact that somebody's watching, a person is watching you, or a
Yeah.
person may be watching you, is a great reminder that Allah is always watching you.
Yes.
Ooh.
So I think, that's copywritten. It's copywritten.
Copyright, so don't copy me. Hey, I got you.
So yeah, I think that's how I've seen myself develop.
Well,
Yeah.
tell us more about your circle. Like, who are your, like, do you hang out with a lot of people? Do you keep it not real light in regards to how you kind of like travel and everything? Because I'm sure you had, like you said, you had a lot of people that want to, you know, that want to clout chase and everything like that. So
Yeah.
how do you kind of, who do you know who to roll with and who not to roll with?
As far as like my circle of friends,
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually with the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Same people doing the same things around the same time, in the same town.
Same city, same friends.
Can you not? Like, he is a super fan. Oh my gosh.
There's a Drake quote for everything.
And he's been doing them all day.
You see, like, I live with.
As far as like social, I don't know. I'm kind of getting a feel for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's some people who I've met, and it's like, ooh, never again, child. And it's not even that they're bad people. It's just that I'm not interested. and I don't force myself into spaces where I'm genuinely uninterested. So yeah, that's it. But I have met so many amazing people.
That's awesome.
Like that's one great thing. Like so many amazing people who are like, wow, like you're a great person.
Yeah.
Like where were you when I was 6 so we could build a strong bond?
I need a best friend.
Exactly.
Like, where are you?
So yes, I have met some amazing people who
Nice.
I do keep, even some social media people who we have pretty consistent conversations. Even though they're like fans, like they consistently comment. Like there's one brother who him and his wife send me voice notes, and they'll be like telling me jokes, and I'll tell them jokes back, and
that's dope.
so yeah, that's fun to say the least. So much fun.
How's it? Have you met a lot of the people that you've interacted with on Instagram in real life?
Good question.
And not just like fans, but like you were saying, like those, you know, that couple. Like, have you ever met, say, like, Neelon's about to be at the conference, right? Like,
this would be my first time meeting her.
Nice. But did y'all socialize like on Instagram beforehand, or was it
Yes,
just like I like your
yes.
picture, that sort of thing?
Yes, we have socialized beforehand, so it will be very nice
That's dope.
to finally meet her. But honestly, like, it's kind of magical. That feeling of following somebody on Instagram for so, like, I will say, Mustafa Briggs, like he's been following, him and his friends have been following me since the beginning.
Really?
Like we've been cool, we've been interacting since the beginning.
Good people's man.
So when I went to NYU and I saw his program, I'm like, yo, like I kept telling my friends, I'm like, this is nobody new.
Yeah.
Like I know him.
That's the
Like
beauty
we're
of
just
social
meeting,
media
but
now.
this is my friend.
This is my boy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like this is my man's. And when we finally like got to talk, I'm like, son, I know you.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah.
What's up?
He was tall. He's a
Oh
lot
my
taller in person, right?
God.
That's 50 right there.
Son.
That's Curtis Jackson.
when I got to the event, like we were sitting, so I didn't really, and he was behind the podium, so I didn't really peep. But like when I went to go stand, I was like, yo, you lied? Like what's going on here?
Shun.
Exactly. Like can you sit down? Like
No, but you know what's interesting about you saying that, right? Like I have been following Mustafa on our Young Muslim page for a good little bit, right? But really, you know, like it was just like, oh man, like got some cool pictures, like cool content. Really didn't know too much. We hung out with him for one day, and it was like, dude, like I've known you my whole life.
Yeah.
Like this is him and Yusuf. It was like, and Yusuf really didn't know too much about until, you know, I would say like a week maybe before like we actually met them. Like we just like going through, followed them and stuff like that. So it's very interesting when you do meet social media presences or influencers or whatever, and then you're like, dude, like you're literally just like me, like bro, like you just remind me of my cousins back at home, sort of deal, you know, like it's nothing new. It's nothing new. So that is refreshing, man.
So
it is.
In regards to meeting new people and everything like that, I'm sure you get a lot of DM requests from just weird guys asking you to marry them. Probably, I'm sure you get that a lot. So for young Muslim women,
I only got 2 weeks of my time. What you trying to do?
How can you navigate that? Just because you said you live a real life, and you know you want to meet somebody genuine, but I'm sure it's just like, how do you kind of feel that out too? You know, so I know that must be pretty hard.
To be honest, I don't talk to people on social media. I don't. Like, in order for us to have a real, because men are clout chasers too, and it's kind of disgusting.
In what way? Like,
what way of like, I've heard brothers tell, like, we'll have a quick conversation, like he'll reply to a story and I'll reply, quick conversation, and he'll be like, oh yeah, we talked.
Okay. And tell people that. Screenshot, like, look guys,
yo,
told you, mama.
And it's so corny, and it's like,
yo.
So literally, I don't talk to anyone on social media. Like, in order for, if you want to meet me on social media, and then like you really want to talk, you're gonna have to hunt me down.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time.
Yeah, not even, because everybody knows one thing I've never been is hard to find. Like, you know what masajid I go to, like you know the people I'm friends with, whatever. I've never been hard to find, but as far as navigating it on social media, I'm not even interested.
Yeah.
Solely off the fact of, I don't trust your intentions.
Got you.
I don't trust your intentions.
Got you.
Yeah.
Dude, so like before you got with us, how did you scope out, or like how do you scope out anybody that you're like potentially gonna meet in person or anything like that? Like how do you have like, do you like send like, yo, look,
send to your group of friends
how
like,
they look, they look like,
hey, check them out, friends.
they good?
I would say with you guys, I was just on the page, and I went to your personal pages.
Oh, snap.
I was like, and then I watched one of your lives, and I was like, okay, these are real people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
I had to make sure these were real people. And I was like, got to get real familiar with the faces. Don't want,
Catfishing.
anybody be swiped out. You swap this person for this person. Like somebody 200 pounds, 6'5" comes, and I'm just like, yo, you're not your bro. Like, stop playing with me.
Good point. Good point.
The era of Photoshop, so I understand why you do
exactly.
due diligence. So, does your family, like, worry about you sometimes in regards like what you talk about on the platform that you get? Mashallah, it's only gonna grow. Do they worry about like what may happen to you, or some people may be after you because what you say?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. When I travel, they do. They do.
Do you travel alone? Do you have like an entourage? So you don't have an entourage
I'm
with
solo
you?
dolo.
You got no security? You ain't got a strap?
You can look like you trying
Am I
to
supposed to have one? That's a different story, but I can get into that. Yeah, I travel solo only because having people, I'm always wary to bring my family and my friends with me. And I'm also wary to post them on social media because like I tell people, it's not a thing of I want to keep my family and my friends a secret, but it's a thing of like, these are my people, so I don't want to put you in that space that I'm in. Because when I'm open to the criticism, I can take it. I have thick skin.
Yep.
But then it's like, if somebody were, for instance, like to say something about my grandma, all right, where you at?
Yeah.
So
she got the strap.
So for the purpose of that protection, I don't put my family, and I don't really like taking my family with me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like traveling with my family, but in regards to I used to post my nieces all the time. And at one point, I just stopped. Like, cold. Yeah. And somebody like, why you stop posting them? I was like, to be honest, I don't want y'all to know about that side of my life. One, two, like if something happens, I don't want I don't want them to be collateral in any type of way.
Exactly.
So that's
like,
why
these
I stopped
are
doing
my
it.
softest spots.
This is
how you can hit me.
You do that, then it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, it's difficult for me, I guess, because like when I got on Instagram, I think there was like 10 people on there. So I was like, oh, this is great. Like, life, boom, boom, family, catch, like everything, tree, like, new couch, like anything, right? So like I've kept that, and I've switched it up, right? And my private profile is I'm not famous or nothing like that. It's like I got a lot of people that now are starting to follow the podcast. Yeah. So yeah, I feel what you're saying. Like you're like, we're taking that turn now. And you're like, okay, I gotta be careful about what I post, who I post. Like I posted a picture of my mom for Muslim Women's Day, and it was her birthday, and then I was like, it's my mom. Sit too well, yeah, it's my mom's. Like it's my mom. But the thing is, like, you go on my page, like it's always been like that. But it was that one photo, and this was 2 days ago where I posted it, and I had that same feeling, like I don't know how I feel about that now. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a weird feeling. You helping us a lot right now.
So what are some recent topics that you have been talking about that people are bringing up to you that you kind of want to address with men? I mean, you got two Muslim black men right here. Like, what are some topics that you want to kind of discuss or break down that we can provide some insight to? Oh, she about to fix the chair.
She
we just getting started.
She fixed a hijab and she repositioned Mo.
Who knew the podcast was just starting?
I'm thinking. I don't think it's as much so as I want advice on it, but I think as young black Muslim men, even though I'm sure you have this information already, but I feel like enough young black Muslim men don't have it in regards to getting married.
Okay.
Is I feel that brothers are not doing enough to ensure that they're protected and they're happy.
Protected in what way?
Whoa.
Like, are you talking about like our emotions?
Protected in the way of, the fact of the matter is, you are making yourself vulnerable to whomever you marry. That's like the deepest spiritual connection, to be physically intimate as well as emotionally and mentally intimate with the person that you marry. And I see too many brothers that are going into marriages with abusive, toxic, negligent, rude, disrespectful, and just toxic women.
Oh, so the women are toxic.
The women are toxic.
That's why I had the reaction. Like, I'm like, yo.
The women are toxic. And
the podcast did just start.
The women are very toxic, and I tell brothers all the time, like, be careful. And as much as we try to make brothers, feel bad about it, know what you like.
Yes.
Know what you need. Like, know what you're into. Yep. And don't give in to any woman that likes you because you feel like, oh, she likes me, I should like her back.
Finally.
Just be like...
That's crazy, because a lot of dudes do feel like that. They're like, like, this girl likes me, maybe I should just give it a go and, like, see what happens.
Yep.
A lot of us do feel like that because we don't want to seem like, oh, we're rejecting a woman.
Yeah.
We don't want to do wrong by
who
her.
does he think he is? Like, just don't respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
But keep going. Keep going. And also, I will say a woman's intuition is a bit stronger, but you will have intuition too. And I've seen a lot of men ignore their intuition about women and end up in horrible situations. Right. And what's even worse than men ending up in abusive situations is not admitting to the fact that that was abusive. Or not admitting to the fact that they're traumatized. Okay. So you got in a relationship with someone that essentially you shouldn't have been with. Mm-hmm. But qadar of Allah, it happens. Yep. But you're leaving with that trauma to go into another relationship. And it won't end well. And these are the brothers you see who are like 4 or 5 wives down the line. Yeah. Who just can't maintain a relationship or continue to pick the wrong partners.
Damn. Yo, no, that hits because I have been in a position where, like, you start talking to a sister and you're like, oh, like, it's going well. You ignore certain things.
You ignore the red flags.
And you blatantly feel them. You're like, I don't know about that. She doesn't move. It's something's moving funny.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then you ignore it, and then it bites you later.
Yes.
And then you're like, that sucks.
Yes.
That sucks. Whether it's marriage or even just talking.
Yeah.
So, wow. That's the first time I've ever heard a woman say that.
Yes. And it's something where it's like, oh my God, like, seeing men and you're like, that was like pretty bad. Yeah. Like, I'll hear a brother's story, brother would be like, oh, she cut me, she threw my clothes out the window, she called me this, she called me that. And I'm like, that was abusive.
Yeah. It wasn't that bad.
Exactly. They'll be like, it wasn't that
bad.
They'll be like, I'm fine, I'm getting money, da 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 da. And it's like, honey, that hurt. Yeah. And it's okay to say that. Yeah. And I think because men have can dominate women physically, that you don't feel that you're as vulnerable as we are.
Or anything else can be seen as abuse if it's not physical abuse.
Exactly. Yeah. But women, we know.
Women can cut with
we
words.
Know.
They know how to get it.
We know. And abusive and manipulative women know just the right thing to say that will cut so deep. And it's like, you ever had somebody say something to you to the point where it's like you could feel it like in your throat, like it hits you and you're like, yeah. And abusive and manipulative women do know.
We actually have a friend that's in a pretty bad relationship, and when he first got into it, we're like, yo, like, did you verify that source? Like, the woman, did you talk to her friends? Like, at first she was cool, she came about, she was real bubbly, she wanted to get to know us. Usually when a woman's getting to know a guy, she would just try to get to know him. She was trying to get to know him and us. I'm like, yo, why is she? Yeah, I'm saying, why is she so interested to see how we moving and talking? But we really didn't pay it any mind, because he liked her, He's like, hey, I like this girl. I think she's cool. But then next thing you know, she slowly took him away from us. Like, took us away from the group. We're like, oh no, he's just spending time with her. They're just, they're doing things that couples do. But next thing you know, like, he wouldn't chill with us anymore. Yeah. We would shoot him a text. She would respond. And every time we would call him, she'd be in the background like, why are you talking to those guys? And everything like that. So we like, yo, like.
It's sick.
What's going on? Yeah, it's sick. Like, what's going on? And she had a plan. She, I don't know if she loved this guy so much or she knew what she could come up on him. Yeah. But we're like, yo, this is, like you said, this is mad. Do you know what I mean? Like, this woman has a plan to take everything from him.
But
everything from this guy.
Even listen to what you just said.
Yeah.
You said, I don't know if she loves this guy so much.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in your minds, that's what you'll say.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, she's just obsessed with me.
Yeah.
She's just crazy in love with
that's
me.
Yeah.
It's abusive. It's abusive.
Yeah.
It's abusive.
Yeah.
And it is an argument within a lot of people as to whether you can love somebody and still abuse them. But I would say no.
No, you can't. That's like me loving my mom, and you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's because it's sick.
I love her though. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
And
again, it's a thing of intentions.
Yeah.
So somebody that loves you, even when they hurt you, because there'll be arguments. There'll
absolutely.
be hit a little too hard. Not hit physically, but like not hit physically. Not hit physically. Yes. Let's be clear. Nadirah P does not advocate for physical violence. But I mean, like, something you say would just, touch a little too deep. But someone that loves you is not going to say these things with the intention of hurting you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for guys, it might be twofold. Because on one side, you're like, so where my community is like, before you're ready to get married, you play the field with individuals that aren't Muslim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You talk to other women, whether it's different backgrounds and religious, like, when I'm ready to get married, then I'm going to find a Muslim woman. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you come to that crossroad, you find a Muslim woman, like, okay, wow, mashallah, she's beautiful, she's knowledgeable, she seems like she has a good character, her family's cool. Mm-hmm. Let me just pull the trigger on it. You know what I mean? Because you really don't think much about it. Like, somebody likes me and, it's part of the deen, let me just go ahead and do it. Your family's cool with it, but you don't do that research. You don't get to know the person. You don't ask about it, but you're like, alhamdulillah, it happened. It's from Allah, whatever. It's no coincidence that she came in my life now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that also comes from not knowing yourself.
Yeah.
'Cause when you don't know yourself, then you don't know what you like. You don't know what you dislike. And you'll take everything, whatever comes your way. I remember Jabril was telling me that an opportunity is good, but not every opportunity is for you.
Exactly.
And I said that.
Yeah. Did he say that? Yeah. You gotta question that.
Copyright.
Quoting somebody else, but she's exactly right. I got into sales because I knew myself. I knew I'd be good at it. I could have gone to logistics. I had so many opportunities to get into other things, but I found an opportunity that was right for me, that could fit me. So I do agree with what you're talking about.
And abusive people will make you question yourself.
Dang.
When they see how secure you are, and they purposely, it's sick, but they'll purposely go after somebody that they see has a certain level of strength to see how far they can get at breaking it.
Dang.
So when they see he's a secure man, he has a good job, he's happy in his manhood, everything, let's have a little playtime.
Hurt people.
Exactly.
Yo, that's wild.
Because it's always come back to the men. The men are the abusive one. The men are the ones that messed up this relationship.
I mean, even the couple today.
Yeah.
He talked about the men hitting wives or like abusing wives, but we never hear the opposite.
Exactly. And it does exist.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure.
It does exist.
It's probably a lot more prevalent than we give credit to.
Than we think. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. So what is your advice to men then? What is your advice for what do we do? Help me.
Of course, put your trust in Allah, but
absolutely
get to know her. Not as, because a lot of times we like to think of it, and as women especially, we be like, oh, he'll be the perfect husband.
Yeah.
But what kind of person is he?
Yeah.
What kind of person is he? And I think it starts with, like you said, you have to know yourself as a man.
Yep.
And there's no shame in saying, as a man, I like this, I like that, I know this, I know that. If you say you really don't want a sister with no kids, don't get a sister with no kids. You want a sister that doesn't work? Go get a sister that does not want to work. Mm-hmm. Do not get a sister that has a career, that's in school and everything and anything else. And like, I can make her house.
And then,
let me give her a baby. She gonna be cool, right? Then
pop a baby in the joint. Exactly. She gonna cool right now.
Did you just say pop a baby in that joint? Did he just say pop a baby in that joint?
I'm a circumstance to the people I hang with. I'm sorry.
Did he just say pop a baby in that joint? See, this is why. I'm about to make a video about him tonight. This brother just said pop a baby in that joint.
Make her chill. Oh my god.
I am appalled, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
God, take me now.
Oh my goodness.
But that's, you're talking about, us men getting to know women. When can we do that? Before we marry them? While we're engaged? Because people say all the time, like, I want to get to know the sister. Well, you gotta get married to her. It happens all the time in the community.
Yeah, get married first. You don't get to know anybody until you get married to her.
It's like that.
I would say it makes it easier, especially with Muslims, because we don't waste a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of space to get to know each other.
That's so true.
And I would say to have a list of non-negotiables.
We talk about this
Yo,
all the time.
the last time we heard that was here. The last time we heard that, there was a young Muslim and single thing that was here, and my aunt was throwing it. She said, have a list of non-negotiables, in that room right there. That's wild.
And if you do not meet the things on this list, and it doesn't have to be like a shallow, I have tall on my list. So
that's fair.
If you have big booty on your list, you like what you like. I don't know how you seeing it. Allahu Alam. But I would definitely say have a list of non-negotiables and then a list of things that you're willing to compromise on.
Yes.
Clearly have set boundaries. Clearly have set boundaries.
Yeah.
And say anything within here with a few differences I'm comfortable with. Anything outside of here I can't. Or not even more so I can't, I won't.
Yeah.
I won't.
Things also comes to a huge part of communication, right? I was telling your brothers what I see a lot in the the Muslim community in regards to just marriages, that when the wife has a problem, the husband hasn't given her a space to talk to them. So she goes and tells her brothers, her dad, her mom, her sheikh. When the husband finds out, he's furious. Yeah. He's like, yo, why are you putting our business out there? Yeah. You need to come and talk to me first. And he doesn't feel like a man anymore, But it's like, I try to talk to you, but you didn't give me that space. Like, no, talk to me. Then that cycle just keeps happening and happening and happening, So I can just go down the rabbit hole real quick. Yeah. So it's just like a communication is really big, but at the same time as a guy, it's like, I want, my potential wife, who I'm talking to, like, to have that open dialogue with me. If anything happens, if I make you feel bad, come and let me know first, and we can have a conversation about it. Like, everything can be solved with the conversation. But when people stop talking and hold grudges for 2-3 weeks or like months, like, that's very toxic in itself, So I think proper communication is a big thing. But in the Muslim community, we don't have those channels for the proper communication, you know? We don't have those spaces. So it's like, we go to the mosque and there aren't even Muslim women there. Yeah. It's like where do you want us to meet these individuals, And then we go see them at the movies, like, oh, that's haram. It's like, dude, you're catching no breaks.
Where's the middle ground?
There's no middle ground. I think as a younger generation, we're trying to do that because we're having, like, right now I saw at the ICNA conference, which I thought was brilliant, they had like a segment for young Muslim, single Muslim women and men to get to know each other. Like, hey, bring a wali with you and some cash because you got to pay for this. You know what I mean?
Hey, they charge it?
Yeah, I think it was like, I don't know if they charge, but it's like a special segment.
They charge.
Son, I'll just see you once you get out the joint.
Hey, Cuba's expensive.
You bust her right. I'll be right over there.
So again, with his outrageous commentary, I'll see you, bust a right, and I'll be there. Okay. Okay.
I was just messing.
Oh man. This is.
I really have to be done. I have to go.
See. Oh man. Jabrill's been keeping us in. Yeah. So what's another situation? Because that actually was a real topic that I don't even think about. Toxic women. That's really interesting. Yeah. That's very interesting.
I think with me personally, and with a lot of people don't focus on, is for me personally, like, it's very easy for me to love. Like, it's very, like, if I'm around you long enough, I can love you. That's fine. Very easy. But if I do not like you, like, as a person, as a friend, if I don't like you, there's no amount of money, there's no amount of anything that you could give me that will convince me to be around you. And you'll hear so many, like, young couples that are getting divorced, and it's like, oh, they and you're like, did you even like this person
from the get? Yeah.
Like, did you
guys friends?
Exactly.
Were you best friends? Were y'all friends before you even did this?
Exactly. And it's like, you just have to know more about the person. Yeah. You just have, and I also advise heavily, because like I said, we don't have a lot of time. When in the courting stage, we don't have a lot of time, is to start off with the non-negotiables. Because when we start off with all the good stuff, he goes to the masjid and prays. Yeah. He gives money. He's this, he's that. By like the 6th week, you're already in love. Yeah. You're already in love. So then when you start to see the ugly stuff, it's harder to detach.
That's a good.
It's harder to detach.
So
let's start. I want to start with all the ugly stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have kids?
Can we work with that? Yeah.
Do you have a temper? Your emotional intelligence?
Are you addicted to anything? Do you have,
exactly. Got any dolls I should know about? Something like something like that.
This is really talking about. This is
like to start there. That way we can get to all the other stuff later. Because once you see, okay, I can do this. This is
they,
good.
They
like
fit the profile.
Exactly. I can do this, or I can handle this, or this is not bad. Then we can get to the other stuff. But that's just me personally.
No, you make great sense. Because I think that is something that we see with certain guys. Like you go in head first and ignore that stuff, and then you're just like, all right, crap, what do I do? 3 months, 4 months later, you're just like, yo, help me. But you're, like you said, you're torn, So yeah, that's a damn.
I think it's also to be attentive.
Yeah.
It's to be attentive, because I think within the first month, I would say, you're getting a good bulk of information about the person.
A lot.
But we're so in the lovey-dovey Cloud 9 stage. It's like, oh, he's perfect, Prince Charming. But then on the low, like, he's telling you something dumb, like he hates for you to walk in front of him, or he wants a wife that kisses his feet, or something like that. But signs. You're not paying attention.
Well, I was getting ready to ask you, like, why do you think us as guys, why do we ignore red flags?
Because we feel like we finally found something good. You know what I mean? Just like somebody that actually cares about me, someone that actually likes me, that's not for me for like money or just my looks, like really cares about me. But when you don't really vet it out, then you don't know. And at the same time, as guys, there's times in our life we're just really like lonely. Like times are just tough, rough times with family, and it's like, dang, like
you need somebody to talk to.
It would be nice to have somebody to talk to. Once you find anybody to talk to, like, all right, yeah, let's do this thing. Like,
I've honestly heard that from so many brothers.
Yeah.
Where they're like, yo, I'm so lonely.
Crazy.
And I'm just like, oh my God, don't be lonely.
Everybody just wants that check.
Stop.
You know what I mean? Everybody just wants that.
Well, yeah, and you start realizing a lot of the material stuff doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
There's a part of every man you want to be able to share outwardly.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely,
it's like,
absolutely.
Or even let's take it further in this, which is used and abused so much, is that how alayhi salam was made from the crooked rib.
Who's the
Brothers will say that so
the
much.
Crooked
like,
rib.
Oh, she's the crooked rib.
Oh, wow.
So women are just crooked. So a lot of the abusive or manipulative or just straight out disgusting character flaws that women have, they won't pay attention because, oh, that's just in a woman's nature.
Oh, yeah.
That's just in a woman's nature.
I've heard that, but I've never heard the crooked rib before.
No, but
they'll have, like, women will, like, even so much so that it's kind of a joke that we have. We'll be like, oh, girl, he cheated, go beat him up. That's abuse. Yeah. Like, that's a crime. That's assault.
You can go to jail for that.
Exactly. You don't have a right to beat somebody up because they cheated. When I tell you how many men I tell, call the cops. Call the cops on these women.
Because I ain't going to hit you. I'm going to let the man
I've
take you.
I've seen women bust out windows, bust tires, throw things, destroy items.
What's funny about that is, we talk about this a lot is, and we were talking about this actually, how you can still be a crappy person, and just because you're Muslim isn't going to change that.
Exactly.
You have to fix
clean that up.
You and what's your inside. You have to fix your religiosity, right?
Yeah.
And it's astonishing to me how people can, pray all 5 prayers and do the extra prayers and go to
the community,
do all this stuff, but then they go home and they do stuff like that, men and women. Yep. Particularly we talk about the men because we know men, right? But like from what you're saying, it's like women too. So it's like we really do have an issue in the community where we don't even condemn that sort of behavior.
Yeah.
On both ends.
Yeah.
Like I've seen dudes trying to justify men how they treat their wives.
Yeah.
And I've seen, like you're saying, like us dumb down what is happening to us.
Yeah.
So it's like it's wild. It's like
it is.
But not only that, as people, not as guys, you always like to look how the gift is wrapped. You know what I mean? You really don't think about what's inside the gift. So, for example, when you see a Muslimah walk in, she's dressing with the abaya, really modest, she must be a great Muslim. She must be a great person. Just because she's not going out, she's not posting pictures online, she's not going to the hookah bar, she's not going to Starbucks, you know what I mean? She's not going to Starbucks.
She's not going to Starbucks.
She's not driving the whip all day. Like this woman would be perfect for me. You just look at the outside, but you ignore all the other stuff. Yeah, she's a little crazy, but which woman ain't? You know what I mean? Like all women are
Exactly.
crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we do a lot of justifications to make ourselves feel better, but we don't. It takes time to get to know somebody from the inside.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. But some people don't have the time. Some people just don't want to put in that work. They're like, yo, I met this girl 3 days later. We did it. You know, it's like. Yeah, 3 days is not enough to get to know somebody.
And for some people, it works.
For some people, subhanAllah.
Some people, it works. Like, I know some sister who married her husband after literally 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know somebody similar. So it's like, it vastly depends on the people and depends on the connection.
Yeah,
that's true. And it's like you said, it depends on how quickly that person qualified your non-negotiables.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Because if they've been scoping you and like, all right, you tick off all mine that I can see. And then you look.
You bring up a good point.
Because with the phones and with Instagram and stuff like that, you can get an idea. I know we say like, oh, you see 2%, but 2% is better than no percent.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, okay.
Back in the day, it was like, here, you and her.
All right, what do you like? So it's like, if we can use, you know, what we see on social and we're like, okay, you like outdoors, for example, right? That's a non-negotiable. You like animals. That's a non-negotiable. That's already 2 things, you know, and I'm just naming 2 randoms. You know, it's not that I don't like outdoors
here, ladies.
And cats, you know.
Listen up.
Outdoors and cats, ladies. So it's like, you know, once you see those things, you're like, okay, cool. They got those 2.
Yeah.
She looks nice. She got all those, you know, the physical attributes that I like. Now let me try.
Yeah.
So it's like it can make it a little bit easier using these platforms than in the past, you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Also, the people that I know that did it rather quickly had good intentions.
Yes.
Had good intentions.
Okay.
So what do you qualify as good intentions?
All right.
Versus bad intentions? Like what would
like, hey, I want to get to know this sister. I'm not ready for marriage, but she looks nice. You know what I mean? Like what is?
I think for quote unquote, let's go light on the bad word.
Yeah.
But for bad intentions, some people are just looking for a servant. You know, like some sisters just looking to get their bills paid.
Damn. You can't forget that's people. It's not just Muslim. That's just
exactly. Some people are just
real.
looking to.
This is real. Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true.
Some people are just looking for some intimacy. You know, which is not a bad thing. Because Islamically, you know, you're allowed to get married for the sake of, you know, remaining pure or whatever. For the sake of doing it the right way.
Yep.
But it's like, after that, what you about to do?
That's
like,
a big risk. No,
that's a big risk. You're taking a big chance there, buddy.
So you're sitting there, you're like, so this is a lifetime, right?
So what you about to do? That marriage was final? Like, that was for real?
I'll get a refund.
Exactly.
What you about to do?
What you about to do? So you gonna like see your mom's house?
Wait, you live here?
Are you moving it today or next week? Like, dang, that's
very true.
That's wild. But at the same time, I think that we can't put that stigma on divorcees as well.
Oh, of
because,
course
like,
not.
if it ain't right, it ain't right.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's supposed to make that easy, but it's so hard.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to see a divorce, and once you make a divorce, we talked about earlier. For divorcees, it's so easy for guys to bounce back. You know, so for example, somebody in my community divorced his wife, and then everybody's like, don't talk to her, she's tainted. And then everybody's like, yo, this guy's a bachelor now, you know, like, yo, somebody come find him. It's so crazy. You know, for guys, it is a lot easier for guys. You know, I don't know if we have that privilege or what's kind of society tells us. It's a lot easier for us to bounce back.
But you know what? That goes back to your point though. Like that stigma happens, right? And not saying this is right, right? But at the same time, we still don't know why. So if they get divorced and they're like, yo, dude, like you're finally out of this bad relationship. We told you it was bad. This woman was no good. You know, maybe that's the case and we don't know it. So it's like there's a lot of stuff on the surface.
Catch-22, bro.
But we don't see what's lying underneath. But I'm sorry, you about to say something. I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah, the stigma around divorce. I was just talking to somebody about that the other day. It's during the Prophet's time, like, sorry, some people used to just come and be like, yeah, I don't like it. Yeah. And that was that. And that was that. Because the fact of the matter is, though Allah may have written somebody for you, it may not have been for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It may not have been for the rest of your life. And I know some people who are like even my parents are happily divorced. Are happily divorced. Like they're the best of friends.
Yeah.
You know, upon their divorce, and they're happy with the time that Allah did write for them.
Yeah.
As am I. So yeah, the stigma around divorce is crazy, especially with Muslim women.
Yeah.
Because That's the sunnah that everyone wants to ignore, is marrying divorcee women.
The Prophet ﷺ made sure that the Sahaba married the divorcees first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He made sure, but now it's just like, yo, stay away from that.
Exactly.
So going away from what we were taught.
Well, it's kind of like how kind of like getting orphan children too. Like, people stay away from that. We've actually had extensive conversation like, oh, would you adopt, that sort of thing. I don't know if we want to go into that, but like,
that's a good example.
There is, we pick and choose certain things to place negative stigmas on.
Yeah.
But we ignore that, like, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was active in, like, there's a kid that's in need, let me adopt this kid. Oh, there's a woman, she needs a husband, she's a divorcee. That's ain't no problem. Ain't no problem.
Exactly.
So it's like why do we ignore these things? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's a lot. There's a lot in our community that we kind of just we look over. You know what I'm saying? We not. No, don't worry about that. Just stick to these things. Don't.
But not only the abusive relationship, but sometimes abusive parents. That for Muslim women specifically, it is so hard because as a guy, I can come home whenever I want. 4 a.m, 5 a.m, 7 a.m. I mean, I may get yelled at, but it's not gonna be. Yeah, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I already know what you're gonna say.
Exactly.
The same old say, but Muslim woman does that, it's a wrap. You ain't leaving the house for a few weeks. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't doing that again. You feel me? And I'm not gonna say there's a difference. I understand the safety, right? But if you're around, like a group of individuals, maybe some friends, you can be protected. But it's like we never put equal weight on that. So parents, they just put Muslim women, just Muslim girls, just so down low. It's just crazy, man. Like, for example, even like my little brother was walking one time and he just started flag football. And my little niece like, oh, that's awesome, I want to play. He said, you can't play football. I was like, why not? I was like,
first of all, who you talking to?
I was like, first of all, he's like, you better tone down. But second of all, I was like, look, if she wants to play, she can do it, but I don't know if that's what she likes. And I asked her, like, do you want to do flag football? She said, no, I want to do gymnastics. I'm like, awesome, do that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you want to do, you can do. So it starts young.
Yeah.
It starts crazy young.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to Jummah. Yeah, but the girls can't go. So you get that put in your head from a young age. I can't go to Jummah. I can't go out past 9.
Can't play sports.
I can't play sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't do music. All I can do is just pray and, make dhikr all day and just stay in the house. You know what I mean? It can't be creative or...
Yeah. Yeah, damn. You just literally segued right into what I was about to say, which brings us to the point, like, now we're starting to see a lot more hijabi women, especially black hijabi women or women that wear the khimar. I have an issue with the word hijabi.
I see.
But like for you, like there's maybe my sister. One of my sisters actually, she's in there doing comedy. She bought a joke book and she was like, every day she would tell me a joke. They were horrible, but she was committed every day.
Aww.
She was like, listen to this joke, I got one. She would say one, I just try again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like she was committed to it. So like maybe that was after she watched one of your videos, and I'm dead serious. Like, cause my mom, I told you she was watching a lot of them. And she showed it to my sister, and she watches that. Right? You got Ep.48, where she's doing fencing. Yes. So now you got young women, young African American, young black Muslim girls that are like, I want to do that, and she's wearing the khimar, she's wearing hijab. Like, come on now. So I think what you all are doing as Muslim women influencers is more. I think it's even more important than what we do. Is one sister said, we asked her, what can we do as Muslim men to help Muslim women, and it was support us and uplift us and like give us the platforms to keep moving up. Yeah. Because if y'all win, we win.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just amazing to see that, like, we're in a time now where you can really post a video and now you get an audience and you have people that follow you and they're like, yo, we love you, come speak. Do comedy. It's like you're breaking all these different barriers. It's wild. So do you feel that pressure? Not to your audience, but even on yourself. Like, do you put pressure on yourself to be like, look, I gotta make sure that I do what's right and I move forward and I have a plan by moving forward, because not only do I want people to, look at me as an example, but I also want them to enjoy my own process. I want to enjoy my process.
I think I do put a lot of pressure on myself because it's like I can't go back now. It's like I'm already too deep into it. Like I can't, even if I wanted to stop. Like there's somebody out there that I feel like I owe. You know, whether it's little black girls or whether it's my grandma or whoever it is. Like I feel like there's somebody that I owe. So yeah, I definitely think it's a lot of pressure, especially within the like comedic realm, because there are Black Muslim women that are doing it, but I don't know any that wear kimars that are doing it, and I could be mistaken. I could be wrong. Maybe I just haven't found them. But I think there is a constant pressure to be better, to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that, and I try my best to balance it out. But sometimes it does overtake me. And when it does overtake me, I overextend myself. I'm saying yes to this, yes to that. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm going here. Then I end up exhausting myself. Whereas, you know, I could have balanced it out. I could have said no. I could have said a different time. So it is a lot of pressure. But I'm slowly but surely trying to work my way through it. Slowly but surely.
Doesn't that narrative get old? For example, when I first, I guess, learned about you was when I opened up the Muslims of the World book, right? And the first thing that I saw was your name. Then I saw Black Muslim woman. You know, and I kind of read through. I was like, man, this is very inspirational. But they never did that for anybody else. Like the Arabs or just women from any other country that was white. It was just like, hey, this is an awesome story. You know what I mean? So I didn't know if they used that headline to catch people's attention, to break barriers. You know, nothing against the book. It was an awesome book. But I just keep seeing that coming. Like for us, I don't want to be like, yo, these guys, this is an awesome Black Muslim podcast. No, this is just an awesome podcast just in general. You know what I mean?
And the brothers happen to be Muslim and Black.
So what?
And they happen to be Muslim and Black.
And they happen to be Muslim and Black. And that happens in a lot of different spaces. But they never put that stigma on white people. Man, it's a rich white man, you know?
Yeah.
This is a rich man. You know? So it's like that stigma's getting old. Like even there was one African American guy who bought the Weather Channel. I think I don't know what his name was. No, it was somebody else. And somebody's like, "Yo, he's a successful African American businessman." He's like, "Yo, I just want to be seen as a successful businessman. That's it. Don't put African American because I have more money than everybody." You know what I mean? So
period.
I'll change my race
if I wanted to.
I no longer identify.
So does that get old, or does that give you the energy to keep you going?
For that and the Muslims of the World book, I actually wrote that myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was me.
Okay. So her answer is very clear.
No, but it does get a bit of an a bit annoying when people are starting to do it. Yeah. Because then it's like, oh yeah, we have a Black Muslim woman doing it, and it's like, I'm kind of becoming a little token. So that becomes annoying when I start to see it.
Yeah, that's funny. There's this article right here. I started reading it. Imam Suhaib Webb put it up. Representation as a Black Muslim woman is good, and it's a trap. Muslim cool author Dr. Suad Abdul Kabir shares the twin truths about representation.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I have to finish reading it, but I started it.
Yeah, same.
As we talk about it, bring it up. Then that's interesting. That is interesting.
It is very interesting.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this topic is where we are right now. Right, we're in America's Islamic Heritage Museum and Cultural Center. Right, Brother Mir, African American Muslim. When people come in here and they see the pictures on the wall, there are a lot of Black individuals, Black Muslims on the walls, right? But it's all like every race and gender is sprinkled in here, right?
Yeah.
But when I come in here, I'm like, yo, I feel at home. Like, I see my history on here. I see the history of others. I see there's Asian American history. Like there's history of all different people, right? But he was telling us a story where, he had an exhibit like on display out somewhere else, and the sister looked at him like, oh, he didn't know what he was talking about because he was Black. Like there's this like, because he was a Black Muslim, this information isn't complete, right?
Yeah.
But it sucks because this is all of our history. This isn't the Black America's Islam. It's like it's everybody's history. And so, in the Black community, we're extremely inclusive of what we've been through, and we're like, look, like our history is your history. Like you're from Egypt, but like, bro, what my people have gone through has helped your people, and you're part of you're with us. You know what I'm saying? Like you're no different. Same with this son back there. Like, yo, you're Korean, but end of the day, like our history is your history as a Muslim. So it's like,
America,
like we try and compartmentalize our race and say this is our history, that's your history. But at the end of the day, Islamic history is everybody's history.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
So how are you, as Mo, I guess second part of his question, how are you trying to stay true to the Black community, your Black audience, but still say this is our story, this is the Ummah story?
Good question. I think by just saying it, like pretty plainly, plainly and openly saying that Black history is a lot of Islamic history. Islamic history is Black history. And that's that. Like pretty openly saying it. I don't try to beat around the bush. I don't try to insinuate it. I don't try to sneak it in there. It's like, these are the facts. We all know what's up. Whether you want to admit to it or not, it's not going to make the truth disappear. So that's that.
Boom. You can be really straight with it.
Yeah, that's the tea on that.
So we've been going for 2 hours on the dot now.
On the dot.
My mouth is dry. Right. We want to wrap this up, but one, you got to plug, which I know your Instagram is booming right now. But we also want you to get out a couple messages. So what is something that you want, not only our listeners, but your listeners who may well listen to this podcast? Thank you for tuning in. What do you want them to know about you, and what's one message of encouragement that you want for them to take away from this podcast?
Message of encouragement. As far as what do I want you to know about me, it's not that important. Honestly, I feel like I've said enough. You get the gist of it. One encouraging message I would say is what I'm constantly reminding myself of is you can only really heal in your truth, however ugly or disgusting or difficult that may be. So to speak your truth as often as you can, even if it's to yourself. And it's not your job to make anyone comfortable with your truth, or it's not your job to water down your truth or anything like that. But it's the most natural and the most genuine place that we can be is in our truth. So to just live in it. Just live in it.
Nice.
Just be a living example.
Copywritten.
Copyright.
Keep that on record.
I
need that frame next time I come in here.
A little C on the bottom.
It'll be right there.
The picture of my face.
So, like Jabril was saying, this is the time to share some of the things that you're doing. So what are some next things that are coming up for you? Are you doing any shows? We know that you're going to be at the Hijab Fest this weekend, but by the time it comes out, it'll already be over. Are you doing any more shows? I know you're also coming back in D.C. in April. You're doing comedy shows, some other Muslims as well.
From Real Tickets?
Backstage?
I'll actually be in Maryland.
Oh, yeah, you'll be at UMD, right?
Tomorrow I'll be at Howard's Hijab Fest. Nice. Sunday I'll be at Medina Cultural Center's annual comedy show. That's in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, so you're here only for a day?
Wow. Yeah, I'm only here for a day. Sunday morning I got to be on the flight. The show is Sunday evening, and then Monday afternoon I'm back home.
Nice. Crushing it.
Wow.
April 6th, I'll be hosting a fundraiser banquet in Jersey.
Hey.
If you follow me, like I post about all of them. April 18th, I will be doing a comedy show at a comedy show and a shell talk at the University of Maryland.
UMD. College Park.
April 18th. That's the day before.
That's the weekday.
That's the day before ICNA.
Yeah.
ICNA is April 19th.
Yo, I'm with it if you with it.
2020.
Okay, so yeah, then April 20th, I will be at the Delta Alpha Changemaker Summit.
Where's that?
That's in Texas.
All right, well, April 18th. Yeah, as close you'll be. I want to see that. I want to see some of your material.
I posted the link so you can buy tickets.
Hey, it's on your bio?
It's in my bio.
Bet. And what bio is this? This is for your Instagram?
My Instagram bio. It's also, if I post it on Facebook, I post it in the picture. Because, from Facebook, you can click on the link directly. So I'll post it in the picture.
Okay, got you. And so how can people find you on your social medias?
So I'm at Nadirah Pierre. No. I'm at Nadirah.p on Instagram, and it's also Nadirah P. on Facebook. If you find me on Twitter, which I hope you don't, I'm not posting my Twitter name.
If they find you, they were meant to find you. They deserve exactly. They deserve it.
You search for me, which is not even that hard.
Nice. You want to give the closing remarks, my man?
Yeah, no, we do appreciate you coming out here with the very busy schedule. Going to Howard tomorrow, and then on Sunday you're back on the plane. So we know the time was very limited today, but you made the time and the commitment. Really do appreciate that. Had a great time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hanging out with you. Went to Jummah together at Masjid Muhammad. So shout out to all the brothers out there and sisters that made it a great day. Because alhamdulillah, overall, shout out to Ali Bean Pies that held it down. Who else? Shout out to
whoa. They don't throw no shade on Ali.
I'm not throwing no shade.
Hey, I heard he's still getting it. 84
God
years old.
My man, look at the wrist in the clean bean pies.
I was gonna shout out this nice wing place over here, but they ain't gonna pay us. You know what I mean? We can't. Just look up good wings out here in Southeast DC. You'll find it. You may not want to come here, but the chicken worth it.
Be safe. Come here
Strap
while the sun's still up.
Come here while the sun's still up. Oh snap. No, I think this thing is just about done, Jabir.
All right,
Bring it home, bro.
Cool. For the last 2 hours and 12 minutes, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast. I'm Jabir Salam.
This is Muhammad Hassan.
And this is
Nadirah P.
Hey.
And we greet you with the grains of peace.
Assalamu
alaikum.
Peace out.